Now, welcome to SikhNet, Saraswati Adhikar from the UK. What question do you have for us this morning?
I was hoping that you would be able to share some wisdom around the concept of Sadh Sangat. And I often hear some people speaking about the concept of, keeping company with the holy and the pure. And I sometimes feel there's a conflict because I feel there's an emphasis that we should choose company based on their purity and their values. And then I feel sometimes there's a conflict with, if God is in all and all coming towards us and coming from us is God, then all company is Sadh Sangat, is holy. And then I also feel that if we're to be of service and to elevate, that we should be in every situation with all types of people, not just who we think are good or pure or holy, and we should be there to elevate the situation and nourish the situation, and give all that we can and serve the virtues of God in that way. So I just feel a bit of a dilemma sometimes how I feel, and then sometimes how I hear others speak about it.
Both those things are true. Now, how can they both be true? There are different stages that you go through in your spiritual practice. And there's a difference between the loose use of the word Sangat and the word Sadh Sangat. What is our upaya? What is our method? What do we do in our spiritual life? We do sadhana. And then we build our day around sadhana, and we carry that wealth of our sadhana into our day, right? Our awareness of our actions, of our breath, of everything we're doing. In the early stages of living in the world and having a spiritual practice, it's really helpful to spend time with other people who are working on themselves. Because there are a lot of people who their life is really directed towards pursuing pleasure or stuff or control, whatever it is. And that's the center of their life. Their life orbits around the enmeshment of their identity with the things that they're attracted to and that they want in their life. And the kind of conversations you have with people like that are not the conversations about God or about our inner being. It's helpful in the earlier stages to chat with people, to go to yoga class with people, to spend time with people who are working on themselves, because in that company, people are moving their consciousness together. So in that frequency of kirtan, in that frequency of meditation, in that frequency of chanting, everybody elevates together, and that we call that group consciousness, right? So those things help us in our own self-discipline to stay centered and not get distracted. But once we're firmly rooted in Nam and in our sadhana, and we're in the world, it's so funny that you asked this question, because this is going to be the subject of the workshop that we're doing in London next month at Joy Yoga. We're doing a workshop on living the lotus life. So when you're really not firm enough that your mind doesn't get pulled by everybody's stuff, but you can really be fully present with an open heart and paying full attention to the other person without being pulled into their movie or their game or whatever they're doing at the moment, and while having great compassion and kindness in that moment, then you can be with anyone, because it's the moment of connection that's outside of daily events. It's the moment of connection eye to eye. It's the moment of connection when that intimacy happens, which is kind of beyond words. It's that moment when you look at the other person and go, yeah. So those moments are what becomes precious, and you can have those moments with anyone at any time. Even someone you meet on a plane or out shopping or on the street or wherever, the guy who comes to fix your toilet. Yes, everyone is divine, and you see the divinity in all, and you relate to the divinity in all. But it's easier in the early stages of sadhana and self-discipline to do it in a group until your practice is firmly established, so that you become very aware of how your mind moves and where your sticky points are, so that you don't get caught up in the stuff that people are running all the time. So yes, Sadh Sangat is the place we elevate together, but we also connect to the divinity in each person as we go through our day. So does it make sense that both those things are true?
That's really helped crystallize it for me, and to see the benefit, particularly in the early days, of kind of having that support and being able to have the conversations with people that you can't have with everybody, and especially old friends and family that are not not currently on the same path, or so yeah, that's been perfect. Thank you.
When I first started living this lifestyle, my mom, she said, oh, it's just a phase he's going through. And she wouldn't listen to anything I said about it, because it made no sense to her. And so instead I would just give her a foot rub. I'd just massage her feet and laugh with her and listen to what she was saying and just, enjoy her presence. But she could never understand up here what was happening, because 15 years later, she would still tell people, it's just a phase he's going through.
That's a lovely story.
It's so true. People's heads are wherever they are, but my connection with her wasn't here. My connection with her was here. So actions just were an easier way to connect than speaking.
It's easier sometimes. I can easily get frustrated when I can't, particularly with family, because it's a similar situation, and then I get frustrated, why don't they understand? And it's just so much, I wish I had the humility to be able to just massage my mother's feet instead of getting into a frustration. So it's been a great inspiration for me.
But your blood family is where your karmas play out, because our souls are entangled with a certain set of souls, and then we incarnate again with those souls because there's still stuff to work out. And most of that stuff gets worked out not on a verbal level, just through your sadhana and through your own consciousness. 7 generations, forwards and back, are liberated. So really the time you spend with your family is kind of playing out that karmic entanglement. Either that, or it's just being present, like standing by your mom and cooking at the stove, or just doing things together,